And a far less stressed Brian is taking his time preparing a spicy cauliflower and almond garnish for his roasted whole turbot.
Brian, do you think this dish is good enough to really get through?
Yep. I think it's strong and it's executed perfectly.
Chris Bell, what about yourself, yeah?
I think it is.
You're a busy bee, a busy beaver here.
It's too simple a dish to get anything wrong, you know. Every little element's got to be bang on or forget it.
Chefs, the brief for the Great British Menu. Was it a difficult brief to fulfill?
It took me 3 weeks to get my head around it. Really, really hard.
And Brian, for yourself?
Yeah, completely out of my comfort zone. That's why I went back to experiences I've had myself, sharing with people.
For me, you know, I think it's a difficult brief, but a rewarding one, I think, if you get the dishes right, you know.
They're all hoping they've hit the brief with their fish courses. But it's Richard who'll decide whose dish is best suited to the People's Banquet. And time is fast running out.
Everybody wants to win this round, everybody's up against it, you know what I mean? And it's just crazy, you know? Everybody's pushing, everybody wants to get there, you know?
No one more than Brian, who failed to get to the judges' chamber last year and is currently in last place. He's hoping to score highly with a simple roast turbot, a fish he can't afford to overcook, and is taking another risk by flavouring it with Ras El Hanout, a fragrant North African spice mix that might not be to everyone's taste.
It's got the wow factor. Everybody seems to love it.
The Ras El Hanout doesn't...
Ras El Hanout, my kid loves it, he's 4. It's not too strong.
Doesn't lose the turbot?
No, the turbot definitely stands up to it.
He really needs to pull the cat from the bag for this dish because he needs to get a very high mark indeed to stay in this competition.
Across the kitchen, leading man Chris Fearn's under a different sort of pressure.
2 more minutes in, out.
He's juggling 3 complicated salmon dishes in a bid to impress.
Timer.
Turn that down.
And making 2 different types of bread. He knows every element needs to be perfect. Even once Michelin-starred Chris Bell is feeling the heat.
Trying to get some more smoke in there.
He's blanched some samphire and is gearing up to smoke his trout. A risky cooking method that has veteran Richard worried.
It won't need a lot of smoking, will it?
No.
You've done this before?
Yes.
There is a balance in getting it just perfect or tasting shocking.
This fish today is the main part of the dish. If I overcook it, undercook it, I might as well not bother serving it. So I think that's where everybody's in a bit of age.
Chris Bell's trout is first to go under the knife. He's desperate to cook at the People's Banquet and with no room for error is feeling the pressure. He puts it into the smoker and gets his potato cakes into fry.
3 to 5 minutes on fish.
Time up, he arranges his champ potato cakes in a serving dish. Tips his blanched samphire onto a cake stand.
Got it.
And under the watchful eye of Richard Corrigan, dishes up his horseradish and watercress sauce.
Right, let's go.
Yep, you ready?
And last but not least, the hot smoked trout. Shrouded in a cloud of dramatic smoke.
Happy with that cooking
I think
the fish?
You know, I am happy with that there. I think it's moist. It's pulling apart, absolutely perfect for me. There's not a hint of dryness in that fish for me.
Well, it's time to taste, yeah?
Let's go.
It's certainly a feast for the eyes, but will Richard think it's the perfect sharing dish for the People's Banquet?
Wow, I think it looks lovely. Definitely still get that smoke.
It's lovely, you know.
His rivals seem to like it, but it's Richard Chris needs to impress.
So have you got the brief on the sharing part, right?
Yeah, I think I have. You know, it's a whole side of fish. Somebody's got to get up off their seat, lift off that cloche, you know, probably pass that around. People want to smell it. What is it? What's going on? Yeah.
Is it smoked enough?
Yeah.
Think about it.
The smoke is very subtle.
It is, yeah.
In fact, I'm picking more smoke up off the samphire and the emulsion than I am the actual fish.
I hate saying this to you, because you're gonna kick yourself. I just got a bone in the piece of fish.
Schoolboy error.
At the level of the Great British Menu, you do not expect that in the dish.
No, you don't.
Another bone, a few bones there.
Yeah, I just think maybe it's a wee bit salty and a wee bit restauranty for a people's banquet.
And that bone could be Chris's undoing.
I think Richard liked it until we found that bone, and that is a complete schoolboy error. I'm gutted.
Richard won't be revealing what he thinks until he's tried all 3 dishes. And Brian's up next. He knows he has to deliver today or risk being sent home on Thursday. So is letting his turbot do the talking, serving it with a spinach and fennel salad and spicy coronation garnish.
How long, Brian?
4 minutes on the pass.
Step on it.
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Step on it.
Happy?
Focus, Richard.
Time up, he gently scrapes off the turbot's skin,
Sorry.
brushes on a spicy vinaigrette and gets it onto a serving platter. Before dressing it with his cauliflower and almond coronation garnish. He's definitely thought about its presentation, but will his fish be perfectly cooked?
You're a bit late.
Need to get it right. I need points. I can go out. This isn't right enough. If I don't get a good score, I'm home again. It's not good enough.
I'm going to take a little bit of this garnish now to the tasting room. Come on.
So will Brian's whole roast turbot set him back on course?
Do you think it's a good sharing dish?
You know, people don't see this sort of stuff. A bit of a whole turbot. They start filleting, putting it down a smaller piece, a little bit of salad. Yes?
That is stunning.
It's
It is.
looks apart, it smells great. I think to share, it's absolutely perfect.
High praise from the opposition, but is his coronation garnish a step too far for the people's banquet?
Cauliflower and turbot?
A stunner. Winner.
Korean turbot?
Winner.
Raisins and turbot?
Stunning.
You sure?
With curry? Unquestionably.
The garnish, me, I get it, you know, the coronation, you know, but I don't think it packs a punch of coronation for me, you know. Is it too subtle?
And what about the Ras Al Hanout?
Could you put a bit more spice on this dish?
It's aromatic, it's light, that's why I chose that spice. It's got some fruit in it. It's trying to balance it out.
It's a beautiful piece of fish, you know.
It is, it's stunning.
I want to get this sort of food on the final banquet. It means everything to me.
But is it good enough to go through, Brian?
Yes.
I really think that last course has given me a glimmer of hope. So I think I've done enough. I want to get back into the competition, and hopefully this course will do it for me.
Last but not least is Chris Fern. He's making a caviar-like cucumber jelly to dress his jellied salmon, one of 3 salmon elements he's attempting to bring to the pass.
Should have just poached a bit of fish, like. Less is more sometimes, and all that.
You're going to put me off, all right?
Joker in the pack, Chris Fern, knows he's expected to be the underdog, so is determined to show off his skill.
TD bread.
But has he bitten off more than he can chew?
When the chef is singing, you're either mad or you feel very confident.
I'm just happy, chef.
Chris Fern's brought in another quirky prop, this time a slate chalked up to resemble a specials board. Not forgetting his recycled sardine tin, which Richard's not altogether sure about.
How long before it's up?
2 minutes, chef.
2 minutes.
He quickly stacks up smoked salmon and potato bread, the last of his 3 ways with preserved salmon, and gets them onto his slate. And up to the pass.
So, Chris, what have we here?
This is my celebration of preserved salmon.
Okay, so let's take one of those.
Thank you.
One of that.
Yep.
A little bit of soda bread?
Soda bread, yeah, it is. A little bit.
Okay, this is for the leprechaun family, yeah?
Yep.
Good.
And your potted salmon on top there. There's more in there if you want. It's grand.
Well done.
Okay, let's go to the tasting room.
Yep.
It's certainly easy to share, but will Richard think it's good enough for the people's banquet?
Is there a wow factor? Come on.
I do like the presentation, and I do think there's a sense of sharing involved. We are passing that tin around.
Is it good enough?
Is it right for a banquet? Is everybody at the table gonna get it?
I love the concept of it, but just execution.
And you happy with this potted salmon on bread?
I love the potted salmon on bread. I love the idea of the soda bread with it. I think it's lovely.
You got carried away with the cucumber, did you? The jelly.
The salmon was quite salty.
Very little taste in them, I'll be honest with you. Just spoon in there.
It's there, but I know what you mean. It could be more pungent.
I can't pick up cucumber. I can see it visually, the colour.
I think he's put a lot of effort into this dish and a lot of thought. I just think he's bitten off more than he can chew to cook this dish within the time, and that's let him down, nothing else.
Yeah.
Will Chris Fearn's high-risk strategy pay off for the second day running?
I'm nervous to hear what the score is for this course because we're almost halfway through the competition and, you know, somebody has to go home soon, you know, so I want to do well today.
With all 3 dishes tried and tested, there's nothing the chefs can do but anxiously await Richard's verdict.
If I get another bad score, I'm home. I really don't want to go home.
Only the 2 highest scoring chefs will face the judges on Friday, and which 2 is down to Richard, whose job it is to mark the dishes out of 10.
Hello, chefs.
Hello, Richard. How are we doing?
How you all feeling?
Apprehensive.
We're going to start with Chris Bell. Some very accomplished cooking, Chris. But I have 2 fundamental problems with that dish. That a chef of your caliber left the bones in the fish shouldn't have happened.
Never.
And the smoking process just didn't do it exactly how it said on the tin. Brian, potentially a brilliant dish. It certainly needed more spicing and get a little bit more flavour into that sauce. But beautifully cooked. Chris Fearn. The humour certainly there in the presentation, but all of those salmon dishes was seriously overworked. The potted salmon, that should have been served chilled. And served it in a sardine tin. Maybe that was a bit of humour too far.
Time to find out which chef has reeled in top marks today.
Chris Bell, even with the problems, I've given you a generous 6. Brian McCann, I've given you an 8. And Chris Fearn, I've given you a lowly 4.
Okay.
It's fair, it's tough, but clearly you're all neck and neck. It's all to cook for. Have a good night's sleep and some great cooking tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Thank you, boys.
Okay, thanks.
Well done, Brad.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, you too, please.
So after day 2, it's all change at the top. Chris Bell is in first place with an overall score of 13, with just 1 point separating him from Brian and Chris Fearn, who are in joint second with 12 points each.
After the fish course, I am ecstatic. I am back in the game. 1 point in it, all to play for, onwards and upwards.
A little bit gutted, you know, but I didn't think I was going to get as low as mark as that. But, you know, I'm going to have to pull something out of the bag tomorrow.
Certainly no ways running away with it, but one good, strong performance tomorrow would really put me in the driving seat.
Tomorrow, the fight continues with the main course.
A lot of spectacle, but very little garnish and no sauce.
And with 1 point in it, the gloves are off.
It has to be precise, bang on.
Tomorrow is going to be so important to these chefs.